What is up, GBTV? Welcome back to another episode of 10-Minute Misconduct After the Whistles Hockey segment. I'm Kevin Lepper.
I'm Aaron Poland.
I'm Aaron McClory.
Let's get right into it. Guess what? The Detroit Red Wings, they won not one, but 2 hockey games this week.
Victory Monday, baby.
Holy jumping.
Victory Monday.
Can you believe it?
Gotta
They
love
did their
it.
best to try to blow it in Buffalo.
Oh, my goodness. Trevor Daley, my goodness. He tripped. Was it Bernier or Howard? I don't even remember who it was.
It was Bernier.
Yeah, he literally slew-footed him. That was ridiculous.
Hey, scoreboard at the end. That's all that matters.
And
Okay.
Andreas Athanasiou with the shootout winner. How about that?
He's getting hot at a good time for the Wings. because
Perfect time.
I don't believe he's around for the long term. He's not a Steve Yzerman guy. He's a Kenny Holland guy. He's a fourth round pick that panned out in the NHL.
He just might go at the deadline.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They're going to ask a lot in return because they still do hold his RFA rights.
Yep.
But I don't think Steve Yzerman wants to deal with, negotiating like what Kenny Holland had to deal with.
I think you can get some value out of Athanasiou too.
I think you get a first.
Well, the thing is, $5 million cap hit. Not all teams can afford that. I get you retain half of his salary. You can do that. But still, you don't have a lot of teams that can afford to take that contract on.
I think the Wings would be willing. If you can give them
the
a
Wings
first,
would be willing.
If you give them a first and probably a third pick this year, because we've talked at large on this show that the first 3 rounds of this draft are deep. There are people going probably midway through the second round that any other year would probably be going in the first round. It is deep this year.
Right.
So I think the Red Wings would be willing to take on a dead contract, kind of a good example would be maybe a David Backes from Boston, just taking him back if they were to trade Athanasiou there. I don't think they want him, but that's just the first name that popped in my head when I thought of dead contract.
Right.
Because the Wings have cap space. They have that in
spades.
So I think they'd be willing to retain the contract, especially if it's only this year. And it's only $2.5 million, and you can get a first round. And even if you can get a second rounder out of a team for taking back, one of their older expiring contracts just to play in Detroit for, the next 3 weeks.
Exactly. That's not the worst thing to do.
Yeah.
They might not be too happy, but
It's a business.
And then the Red Wings yesterday beat the Boston Bruins. Only reason is, I think, because Boston played the day before. They were probably tired, and Bernier kind of carried because they outshot us 40-20.
Boston played kind of cocky too.
I'm going to give you another reason why they won, and then why they've won 2 of the past 3, and why Columbus only scored 1 goal against them. Drum roll? No, I'm just kidding. So, a lot of it has to do with, you're an NHL team. You're the best team in the league. I don't want to hear that excuse of having to play in back-to-back nights.
Especially against the worst team in the NHL.
Yeah, they played the Coyotes at home the night before. It's not like they're playing,
And they beat them too, didn't they?
Yeah, they beat them. It's not like they're playing the 2 best teams in the league back-to-back. They're not playing Tampa Tampa.
And then going to Denver.
Yeah, as I said, flying to Denver, yeah. So that's not really an excuse. You're an NHL team. You're getting paid millions of dollars. But I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it.
Teams do tend to start slow. But the one thing the Red Wings have made is this massive adjustment in the neutral zone defensively. They're playing a 1-2-2. So the one thing the Wings do not have a lot of on the back end is speed. And a lot of times teams would be coming through the neutral zone just walking their defenders, getting 2-on-1s on simple plays where they're just skating by people. So what this does is it clogs up the neutral zone, so teams really can't get that much of a full head of speed with the puck. So the game yesterday was a perfect example. Boston never really adjusted until the third period. So there's a one play with David Krejci trying to go 1-on-3. He skates on the outside past the one, and this guy over here. It's great TV. I know you can see it. So they cut to the middle, and now he's getting covered by 3 guys, and the puck gets knocked away. They turn it over, and it gets chipped back out. And also, this allows this. If you're gonna get the puck in the zone, you have to dump it in. So by dumping it in, you're gonna get more shots from the outside. You're not gonna be able to cut through the middle. Boston's a great team going cross ice, cutting to the middle of the ice. Didn't really have many chances outside of the 1 goal they scored, which is kind of a sham anyways. We'll get to that in a second. But this allows your defense, who's slower, admittedly, plus Gustav Lidstrom, who's played 3 NHL games, it allows them to only give up 1 goal to, the best team in the NHL. It allows Jonathan Bernier, who's quietly having a pretty good season for team that he plays with.
Definitely.
Average save percentage, league average, which most teams don't face 40 shots a night.
Lord,
And his goals against average is below 3. which on the Red Wings is pretty impressive,
And he's also under contract next season.
which makes him a great trade chip.
Or we could keep him. Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't have anybody else under
Well,
contract.
if we get rid of Bernier,
Get rid of Jimmy Howard. Someone else. Get rid of Jimmy Howard.
Robin Leonard will be available next year. I'm sure
Corey Crawford.
someone will be available. But-
Jacob Markstrom.
Yeah, back to that point though, is it allows more shots from the outside, and they're also getting more physical in front of the net. Gustav Lindstrom did something that I haven't seen anyone on the Wings do outside of Dylan McElrath, but he gets caught doing it all the time. Cross checks the dude down in front of the net. It's much easier to make a save from 60 feet away when you see the puck. And that's the one thing the Wings have kind of been lacking on the D end all year is that physicality.
Just get out of my yard.
Exactly, yeah.
Like I hope Mo Sider brings that too. Like you know he's going to bring that physicality into Detroit as well.
You see him lay somebody out the other night. I follow the Griffins on Instagram. I saw a clip of him just destroying somebody. So hopefully,
He'll get his 9 this year before
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
before the season.
I'm really
ends.
excited to see like if he play. Who do you think he would play with on the line?
Probably Trevor Daley.
You think so?
Yeah, well, because that's what the Wings do is they put all the young defensemen with Trevor Daley for like at least their first few games. So that way, because he is a veteran presence, he's been around the league. I mean, unless you want to play with Mike Green and just get left out.
I'd rather him play with like Patrick Nemeth or something. I don't know.
That's the thing though is they try to keep Hronek and Nemeth together
Okay, yeah, that's
because
fair.
then
That's fair.
you want to at least have like one respectable top line that's you're not really worried about either a young kid or a plug defensively.
I mean, if you want to see how he defends against 2-on-1s, you can put him against Mike Green.
Yeah, but that's not really a great way to welcome yourself to the NHL.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so moving on. Does that cover the Red Wings talk for this
For the most part.
this week? Okay. Moving on, we were talking before the show started here about what we would trade on the Wings to get Jack Eichel on the team. And I feel
Yeah.
like that'd be an interesting thing to talk on the show about.
Oh, big time. Now, immediately, what I'm putting on the no-trade list is Dylan Larkin, Mo Sider, and the 2020 first-round pick. Immediately. Those are shelved.
I'd agree with you on that.
Tyler Bertuzzi probably is also...
I'd keep him around.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You'd probably keep Bertuzzi, and I don't know if Buffalo could use Bertuzzi either if they're trading away Eichel. Like, that's just
I
what
don't.
I'm
I don't
saying.
mind losing Bertuzzi for Jack Eichel. You have to understand, Jack Eichel, any other year that he was drafted, is the number 1 overall pick.
And he's playing great
He is
this year.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's on fire.
He's generational. If the Buffalo Sabres haven't, because I think Buffalo, they're like second or third in man games lost to the injuries. So if they stay a little bit more healthy, I mean, look at their Victor Olofsson was on his way to scoring 30 goals as a rookie before he got hurt. I mean,
Jeff Skinner scored 40 goals last year. He's
Yeah,
a perennial
they're-
30-goal guy.
yeah, they're on. The only way they ever trade him is if Jack Eichel, the rumors are true that he's unhappy.
And I mean, if he does ask out, then
I'd love to see him in the wing wheel.
literally every single team should be trying to go after this guy if
Yes.
he's available.
If you have things to give up, which the Wings do,
Definitely.
I mean, they probably don't have the richest prospects to give up, but they do have things to give up. What I think, I'm just gonna throw a trade out there. See Jack Eichel, and probably you're gonna have to throw someone else in there from Buffalo to even out the cap. But
I think Kyle Okposo is making like $5 million a year. So
yeah, that'd be a good one to throw in. I mean,
he's like a third, fourth line guy.
yeah, it's not
so.
necessarily a contract you'd like to see the Wings take on because it's basically just an abdicator without the physicality. And maybe he scores more goals, but say we throw out Evgeny Svechnikov is still looked at as one of the top 100 prospects in the NHL.
Right.
You throw him out there, you say probably 22 first round pick. I have no problem throwing Anthony Ciu or Mantha into this deal. Or we'll throw Anthony Ciu in there.
Because he's more of a center.
Yeah, and you're probably going to have to trade either Bertuzzi or Mantha, which
I'd rather get rid of Mantha. That's
No.
tough. That's
No,
tough.
I'd get rid of Bertuzzi.
I'd get rid of
tough,
Bertuzzi
man.
over that. Think about the line of Jack Eichel
Jack
and
Eichel,
Anthony Mantha together.
Jack Eichel, Anthony Mantha, and either Dylan Larkin or Philip Zadina, no matter which one.
It'd probably be Zadina. Larkin
Yeah,
would be your
Larkin's
second line
center.
center.
That's true. I mean, you could put Larkin on a wing, but I get that.
And that's not even mentioning Joe Veleno the Wings have to give up.
That's why I feel like Veleno would be the one to go as a center. But because Buffalo would probably want to get a center back, correct?
All right, moving on to actual. They probably would because, fill that spot. But actual trade rumors that are going around.
Right.
That was just speculation. We don't know. One of the ones that I saw, you're a Colorado Avalanche fan.
Yep.
We're all pretty high in Bowen Byram. He's going to be a defensive. He's not going to be Cale McCurr, but he's going to be good in that lineup.
Although to be Cale McCurr, you've got to be just unreal.
Yeah,
But
so
we've already gotten on about that guy enough on this show.
So Kyle Connors, perennial 30-goal scorer with the Winnipeg Jets. I've seen trades that were Kyle Connors for Bowen Byram and a first-round pick.
I
What
mean,
do you
this
feel
year's
about
first-round pick, Colorado's first-round pick is going to be like 26.
But like we said,
Like,
the draft,
and that's what I'm saying.
The draft is so deep. Probably people going in the 20s this year
Like,
probably go top 10 in no shit.
That's why I feel like they'd be okay getting rid of it, though. Like, and for Kyle Connor, because you've got him under contract. I don't know exactly what his contract is, but they could use more depth scoring. I think what Colorado needs more is, like I said it last week, just a center for the penalty kill. Like the second power play. They did score a shorthanded goal against Minnesota last night, so go them.
Yeah, but a lot of people score shorthanded goals against Minnesota.
That's true.
So is that it?
Do you have any trades that you want to talk about?
Anything that will make the Red Wings better. So
I mean,
Andreas Anthony could fetch a first round.
no, yeah, he could definitely.
if Athasio
some
even
value.
fetches a second, are
He's
you
an
okay with
RFA.
that?
That's why he'd probably.
Yeah, that's why.
You don't want to give him up for anything less than.
The
first or a second.
That's fair. That's fair. And you could also just take him to restricted free agency, and if anyone signs him,
Maybe he comes back next year, scores 30 again.
Hey, that's very
And then
possible.
you're going to get more.
Yeah, more points, more points.
All right, so does that do it for this week?
That covers it.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of 10 Minute Misconduct. I'm Kevin Lepper.
I'm Aaron Poland.
I'm Aaron McClory, LGRW.
Let's go. We'll see you next week.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome back to Caught Looking, GVTV's baseball segment. I'm Aaron Poland.
I'm Nick Matthews.
I'm Aaron McClory.
We got some big news to get into today, fellas. Trades. The winter meetings. Finally got our first blockbuster of the year.
Oh my.
And boy, was it a blockbuster.
It was
but
something
it could have been
indeed.
more. So let's just get into the trade that we know that's happened for sure. The Los Angeles Dodgers get David Price and Mookie Betts. So they're getting an MVP and a Cy Young Award winner to add to their lineup and rotation, respectively.
Oh boy, yeah.
So the Boston Red Sox got back Jeter Downs, Alex Verdugo,
Colton
and
Wong.
Colton Wong's kind of a mid-level second baseman, was with the Cardinals the last time they won the World Series. And then Minnesota gets Kente Medea, which is a big get for the Twins because they struggled mightily last year in the rotation. Give me some of your thoughts on this trade that went down. Start with you, Aaron.
You see, I think it's more of a mess because it was so reported in the media and then it got retracted because of medicals. And I mean, I'm not really here to talk about that, but I mean, that was just annoying for what it's worth.
Yeah, we'll get to the second part of that
Oh,
in a
yeah.
minute.
But
And definitely Mookie Betts and David Price getting off of the Red Sox roster is definitely going to bring up some extra cap and space that they can use and to try to fill out those rest of the holes and try to get better prospects in the future, I guess.
My big thing is Boston, weirdly, they're usually the ones that spend money. So I can't imagine. It's hard for me to imagine why they're trading Mookie Betts. He's an MVP. He's coming up on his first big free agent contract. You're going to have to pay the man, but the man's worth the money. Benintendi just got his money through, not free agency, but
arbitration.
arbitration. There we go. I can't remember that word. So this kind of came as a minor surprise to me that he was on the trading block, but
Kind of came as a shock as all of us, but definitely a smart move maybe in the future. Let's see if it pays off for him. Definitely some questions being raised, though.
my favorite part of this trade was Kente Medea going to the Twins, because the Twins last year, when they struggled mightily, they broke their league record for home runs, but they also gave up a ton of home runs as well and a ton of runs in general, so they needed all of those homers to win games. So I think Kente Medea brings a bona fide starter to the Twins. Not necessarily an ace, but probably a good top of the rotation 2-3 starter.
Definitely in that 2 or 3. He's definitely expected to hit some doubles, get in the gaps, good slap hitter, and probably produce a lot of runs for the Twins this season.
Let's get to the Los Angeles Angels part that kind of got left out. So it was a 4-player trade with the main point of Jock Peterson going to the Angels.
Right.
And the Angels only sending back like 1 player and like 3 others going with them. But my whole point is they agreed to it, and then suddenly it just fell through. And I'm a little bummed out because if you think about the lineup that you'd have with Anthony Rendon, Jock Peterson, Mike Trout, and the aging Albert Pujols, but he can still hit you a couple home runs and probably about 30 doubles this year.
Yep.
He's still got a bat, which is amazing for his age.
Ohtani, too.
Ohtani, yep. And that lineup's kind of coming together.
Like, that's a really powerful lineup, and, in theory.
Yeah, but it got stolen from us due to, I don't even know what you'd call it.
It was some kind of medical thing that didn't pass. So, of course, the trade was vetoed because of a failed medical, I don't even know what it was.
I know the Angels withdrew, but I think they withdrew because they're more frustrated about the trade broke on Wednesday, Thursday, and it didn't get finalized till last night. That's 3 whole days in limbo that you have players waiting to hear whether or not they're getting traded. Like, imagine being Jock Peterson, and coming back to the Dodgers organization. Like, you tried to trade him away, and it just fell through.
I feel like he's gone. I feel like he's going to go somewhere
think he
else.
is?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of felt like he just got kicked in the nuts and just like, no, I'm done. It's like a bad relationship. I saw you try cheating on me.
This is just like Lamar Odom with the
Yeah.
Chris Paul trade.
Yeah.
When that got vetoed and he had to get traded to, I think it was the Rockets ended up getting him. I don't even remember where he ended up going.
Yeah, so let's move a little more locally. In spring training, catchers and pitchers reported last week. FS Detroit did their whole moving day thing that they do every year. Pretty excited. So obviously Matt Manning and Casey Mize, they're going to be at spring training with the big club this year. They're not
Right.
necessarily going to make the roster.
I don't think they should.
They're probably going to start at AAA Toledo unless they're spectacular, which they're going to be good.
They
But
might
I
be.
think
It could be in Toledo.
I think they'll start in Toledo just for the natural progression, especially for Mize because he only made it to AA last year.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some reasons to be a little excited for Tigers fans. I mean, we're not going to be very good this year. Don't get me wrong.
And nor should anyone expect us to be.
Yes, please do not expect the Tigers to go to the World Series.
Don't
It's
even
not gonna happen
expect.
this year.
Don't even expect like third in the division.
Don't even expect 50 wins. Set your expectations really low. If we get to 50 wins, we can cheer for it.
Bingo.
So, back to what I was saying about Mize and Manning, and probably Franklin Perez is going to be at AAA too. And that's 3 of the top 100 prospects in the majors, all in one rotation in Toledo. It's going to be some good ball played in Toledo.
Very
I
true.
would definitely agree. Toledo is going to have some definite people to work with down there, and some fans are actually going to be like, all right, hey, let's go out and watch a Toledo game and actually see them win.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for just where this holds for the future of the Tigers because, we're not going to be very good this year. But this is a 1-2 punch that they can come in at the exact same time. I don't know if they are going to come up 1 year early, but you can imagine they're probably going to come up same season.
Yeah, so the Tigers rotation, if you look to the future, they have Matt Manning, who's a first-round pick, Casey Mize, who was the number 1 overall pick in his draft, Alex Fideo was picked number 9 overall. And I think a lot of people forget, Alex Fideo carried the Florida Gators to the College World Series that year.
That's true.
He has some nasty stuff. I mean, he had some elbow injuries, but I'm sure he's going to still be nasty. So that's
It's got that nasty slider.
Yeah, the slider is definitely the big key. So that's 3 right there. Franklin Perez, who we got in the Justin Verlander trade. And then you also, I forget, there's another name I had in my mind, but that's 4 possible starters that we could have in the future all coming over the next 3 years. On top of that, we have the number 1 overall pick, and the projected number 1 overall pick with ASU, their first baseman, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, crushed 2 homers in a spring
Good.
training
And that's
today.
exactly what we need. That's so much what the Tigers need because there's really no power bat. Did anybody even hit over 20 home runs in the lineup last year?
No.
No.
If I had to say
Yikes.
so, no. And the only real major threat is maybe Nico Goodrum and CJ Cron this year.
Yeah. And hey, maybe Miguel Cabrera can do it if he stays healthy.
See, Miguel Cabrera is never going to be that power hitter again.
Lord knows, I hope he can get to 20 at least.
I
Stop.
hope he gets to at least double digits.
Yeah, I hope he plays most of the season this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully Cabrera can stay healthy just because it's been rough to see him as a shell of himself, especially.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking on the radio show today, 2012, 2013, when he was, chasing the AL MVP with Mike Trout.
That was special, man.
It was incredible.
Nothing like that.
No, nothing like that will ever happen again. I believe this to the day I die, that I don't think there will ever be another Triple Crown hitter in the majors.
And the crazy thing about that is the rest of the team were just like amazing too.
Oh yeah.
Like even without Cabrera, that might be a playoff team. That's the thing. That team was so good around him. Sucks they didn't win a World Series, man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get back to it.
Oh yeah.
Eventually,
I have no
Takes
doubt.
some time, though.
1 through 10 trust meter with Alavila.
Oof. I really don't even know how to trust this guy. Like, I'm right at a 4, I guess. Like,
I'm about a 5.
5. I'm gonna go 7 because he drafts well. A lot of the players that he's drafted, I mean, as like you said before we came on air, I mean, obviously number 1 overall pick. That's almost a slam dunk every year. But even if you look further beyond that, I feel like he's drafted well into like the second round or the compensational picks. Some of the trades I would have liked to seen us get more, like especially the J.D. Martinez trade, the Verlander trade.
yeah, the Verlander trade's what really just gets me. How long
I mean, Franklin Perez, he's in our system, and he's a top 100 prospect. He could be good.
That's true.
But, I mean, he's probably going to project out more, especially after his shoulder soreness. Probably maybe 3 or 4 in the rotation. But you need those guys. I mean,
That's true.
Going back to that Martinez, literally we got nothing out of him. Actually, seriously, what did we get out of him? We got, what, a couple prospects, and what, some of them don't even play baseball anymore?
yeah, I was going to say, I don't think any of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who exactly we got.
Yeah, none of them have made it to the
That made
Tigers. It was more of a salary dump to get under the tax threshold, I feel like.
And plus, he was expiring anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, essentially, we traded cash for J.D. Martinez the year he came to Detroit. They reworked his swing in AAA, and he turned into the superstar he is today.
man.
belting over 20.
Oh,
They got rid of
he
him.
had 30 last year.
Yep.
He had 40 with
I was
the
going to
Tigers.
say, didn't he hit 40? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, with the Tigers in Comerica Park, man.
Yeah.
Unreal.
That's all? Anyone else got anything they want to talk about?
I miss JD, man. I really do.
I do miss G.
I just miss that whole core.
He would have been our best bat in our lineup.
Lord,
Definitely still.
without a doubt.
But we still would have won 47 games because it wouldn't have made much of a difference.
Well, we might have won
Maybe
49.
48, 49.
I'm excited for Michael Fulmer to come back. He'll probably come back.
Oh, that's going to
in
be
June.
huge. Like, I hope his.
I don't expect him back till August. That way he gets a couple starts in the minors because he has been off for so long.
If he wants to just sit the whole year,
I wouldn't
I'm
do
not
that.
good. Like, maybe not the whole year. Yeah, get him like some starts at the end because that's not really going to do much. 2 games in a 162 game season.
Yeah. Well, get him back on the mound.
Exactly.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Aaron,
I'm Nick.
I'm Aaron.
and you've been caught looking. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Full Court Press, GVTV's NBA basketball segment. I'm Aaron Poling. I'm here with Aaron McClory. We're going to get into some trade deadline talk. Any trades that you want to bring up right now?
Oh, man. Well, first things first, Andre Drummond got traded away from the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, we got a haul back for him.
Got Brandon Knight, expiring contract, who's probably not even going to play that much. Backup point guard at absolute best. John Henson, who used to be the Milwaukee Bucks center before they got Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Yeah.
who is also an expiring contract that probably won't even be playing for us. He's probably going to get a few minutes, but Christian Wood's better. And a 2023 second-round pick that either goes by the Cavs pick or the Warriors pick, whichever one lands worse. So if the Golden State Warriors are good in 2023, that pick's going to be like the 55th pick in the draft. So realistically, that's all the Detroit Pistons got for Andre Drummond from the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah. The good news is Brandon Knight's most known for DeAndre Jordan dunking him into about the 5th row.
That was a crazy dunk.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So we got that guy, the guy that's also missed a game-winning layup before. So most of Brandon Knight's highlights, what I'm getting at, they're not very highlights. They're pretty low lights,
The Pistons traded Brandon Knight for Brandon Jennings.
which would have been a good trade if Brandon Jennings' Achilles didn't completely blow out.
Poor guy. I really do feel bad about that one.
All right, so let's go ahead and brush aside this gigantic.
That was just like, that was a kick to the face for Andre Drummond. It really was. Like,
Yeah.
you sent him to A, worse team, and B, if I'm being honest, sorry Clevelanders, a worse city. Like, you sent him to a worse team and a worse city.
No,
Like,
there's no doubt it's the worst city.
like, what the heck was that for, man? You could have sent him anywhere else for that price.
So Andre Drummond really does love the city of Detroit.
Yeah, like, I feel bad for him. Like, I was fine with him getting traded. I understand why, but, like, come on. You could have done the guy better than that.
Yeah, I feel he should have went to a contender. But I understand why no contender wanted to pick him up.
Exactly. And if he picks up that $27-28 million player option, that's a lot of money to be paying a center,
Yeah.
especially one that doesn't shoot.
Yeah. So what other trades caught your eye this trade deadline?
So I've been big on the Miami Heat for anyone that's been watching us all season, and
There's probably nobody.
well, hey,
62 people last week, though.
anybody who knows me knows that I've been a big follower of the Miami Heat. I was in love with that Jimmy Butler trade. I thought that was going to be great for them. It has been great for them. They just traded away Justice Winslow, Dion Yummy Gummy Waiters, and James Johnson. Dion Waiters and James Johnson were long-term contracts. So they basically, and so was Justice Winslow. And they basically just cleared a bunch of cap room for 2021 for the expiring contract of Andre Iguodala, who they then signed to a $15 million extension for next year. Former Finals MVP Andre Iguodala. 3-and-D wing Jay Crowder, who expires next season. And also Solomon Hill, who expires this season. So they got 2 3-and-D wings in Solomon Hill and Jay Crowder, and a former Finals MVP in Andre Iguodala for 3 guys. Well, Justice Winslow's a pretty good player going back to the Memphis Grizzlies, not going to lie. But the Miami Heat got a whole lot better out of this trade for a whole lot of players that they weren't using. And Dion Waiters wasn't really good in their locker room either.
See, I think Memphis gets better in this trade, too.
They do.
Because obviously,
They do.
you trade Andre Iguodala, who's not doing anything. Justice Winslow is going to fit in with their young core, I think, well.
Mm-hmm.
Dion, whoops, that wasn't a real gummy bear. Waiters, I mean, he may be able to come off the bench and get you a few buckets. But
He definitely can. He can shoot, too. Well, the Grizzlies waived him, so
oh, did they?
yeah, he's free to sign anywhere he wants now. Guess we'll find out.
Maybe he'll sign in Detroit. Wonder why.
Yummy
Or
Gummies
Denver.
here.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't get our references, Dion Waiters has, twice now?
Oh, just search it. Just search Dion
Just
Waiters
Google-
gummies.
Yeah, just Google search it.
If you don't know it already, yeah.
We've all probably been there. Okay, so let's get to another trade. One that I really like is Marcus Morris going to the Clippers.
That was a pretty nice trade. It was a 3-team deal where the Washington Wizards get back Jerome Robinson from the Clippers, who's a young, shooting guard. He's kind of a smaller shooting guard, but hey, maybe he's going to work, and Washington needs all the bodies they can get. The New York Knicks get a first-round pick back, and they also
Shocked.
I mean, hey, if you're going to get a first-round pick, why not? They also got back Mo Harkless's expiring contract, who they might buy out, which I hope they do for his sake. Let Mo Harkless go back to a contender. And in return, yeah, Marcus Morris to the LA Clippers, which that's another body that you've got to defend on the three-point line that just clears up more space for Kawhi and Paul George. I love that on their offense.
It brings more toughness.
Oh, yeah.
Think about a lineup they could have. They could have a lineup of Patrick Beverley,
Yeah.
Marcus Morris, Paul George. I mean, he's not a softie. Kawhi Leonard, who's probably, if he played every single game in a season, could probably win MVP, no problem.
Problem is it's quad, but
Yeah, and then you just throw whoever else you want on. That's a tough lineup.
Lord,
you're
yeah.
gonna have to bang with that lineup.
And on offense too, that you've also got Lou Williams who can
Yeah.
score. You've got Montrezl Harrell who can go for days.
He doesn't ever stop.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Even in Louisville, he was just 100%.
Exactly. This guy's just unreal. So the LA Clippers, I already had them as my title winner. I've had Clippers and Bucks all season. I don't know how much having Marcus Morris changes my opinion of them, but it definitely raises their offensive ceiling for sure.
It gives them depth. That's what I really like about it, is the depth that it adds.
That's also another clutch body who's not afraid to take the final shot. Think about this. You've got Landry Shamet, who's, oh yeah, we forgot to talk about him too. He's shooting 50% from 3 this year, I believe.
That's good.
Yeah, so you've got a sniper in Landry Shamet. You've got 2 all-world superstars in Kawhi and Paul George. You've got Marcus Morris, who, yeah, he's a role player, but he's not afraid to take the final shot.
And
Lou
if
Williams.
he gets hurt, and Markieff Morris, who's not going to be in the playoffs, if he gets hurt, Markieff will fill in for him.
They did that in an AAU game once.
I'm
Random
pretty sure they
fact.
did that in the 2000 what? Whenever they played Boston. I'm pretty sure that
There's rumors.
that happened.
I've heard rumors that did happen, yes. But there's also Lou Williams. So you've got a 5-man lineup of Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Lou Williams, Landry Shamet, and Marcus Morris. Try defending that 5.
Oh yeah.
Houston, and we're going to talk about Houston in a second, that's the only team that can match them in terms of small ball. The LA Clippers, man, they're just, yeah, my title favorite.
I love the pick. I love trading the first round pick back because ultimately, if you're going to get where you want to get to, that pick's not going to be that great.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably trading that young player anyway for someone who's going to be able to play next to Kawhi and Paul George.
yeah, let's be honest. How often do the 30th pick in the draft become superstars.
And even if he hits, you're probably trading that young piece anyway, like I
Yeah,
said.
that's true.
So
All right, so to the aforementioned Clint Capella trade.
this
Give me
is
your
huge.
thoughts on that.
The biggest trade since the Patrick Ewing trade in 2000. There were, I believe, 12 players involved in this deal.
You mean biggest as an amount of players?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, not biggest in terms of like
Okay.
magnitude. No,
I was gonna slam dunk on you. I had like
you
4
should.
in my head.
Oh, dude, I've got like 24 that you can find. But Clint Capella goes back to the Atlanta Hawks. That's a lob catching threat for Trae Young. That's absolutely massive. Like, no matter what you think about Trae Young, and I know you're not a big fan of him, but that's a guy he can throw lobs to, a guy he can actually get assists with. And Clint Capella, he can play defense. And,
He's not gonna fit in Atlanta. They don't play defense in Atlanta.
well, hey, here's an actual player who's going to play defense now. And the Houston Rockets got back Robert Covington, who is an amazing I wouldn't know about amazing, but he's definitely like 3rd or 4th best player on this team. 3-and-D wing who fits in perfectly. He can play defense. You can trust him probably on a big dude because the Houston Rockets don't have a center now. Spoiler alert, they didn't get a center back in this trade. So watching the Houston Rockets is going to be absolutely huge because their starting lineup is going to be Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Eric Gordon, Robert Covington, and P.J. Tucker. P.J. Tucker's going to be playing center.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this. You know what Daryl Morey has? Dave Gettleman disease, trying to be the smartest dude in the room.
You see,
I don't understand.
I think he's justified with this, though.
I get trying to mix it up because that lineup that you did have, you're not going to win
wasn't
with that
working.
lineup. No. And I don't. Teams are going to figure this out, and the better teams are going to eventually beat you
They beat the Los Angeles Lakers, though, like this.
in one game.
True, you're right. And LeBron didn't attack down low that game either.
Yeah, I was going to say, get LeBron in a playoff series with PJ Tucker being your rim protector. LeBron's going to average probably 35.
You see, I can only speculate here. Maybe Tristan Thompson will get bought out. And if if he gets bought out, then the Rockets are like a leading candidate for him. The LA Clippers are too.
That's making a trade on a whim, though. Like, that's hoping and praying that something happens because you're making. It's not a bad deal, don't get me wrong, but you're hoping and praying for a big man that's serviceable to be available after the trade deadline. Which, if they're not, then you're going into the playoffs, whether you like it or not, with PJ Tucker, who's what, 6'6"?
Yep.
As your center.
And he's, no matter what you think, he's not stopping Anthony Davis.
No.
And he's not stopping a freight train LeBron. Granted, there's not many centers that are going to do that either, but still.
He's not stopping Nikola Jokic.
Oh, Lord, no.
Yeah,
Jokic.
the Joker. Not stopping the Joker, because I can't say his name.
Jokic.
I don't like it. I understand that you have to do something unconventional. The Rockets have always been unconventional, but it's always blowing up in their face.
I mean, I definitely do respect Daryl Morey for doing this, at least, because
I'm going to keep calling him Dave Gettleman, though.
well, nobody is going to be able to stop this team on defense. That's one thing that I do realize.
But they're not going to be able to stop anybody on defense.
Yeah, that's that's why they're 6th in the West right now.
Yeah.
But real quick, there's other details to this trade too, as much as I want to keep talking about the Rockets.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Timberwolves, in return for sending away Robert Covington, they get back Malik Beasley from the Denver Nuggets, who my best comparison for this guy is Bradley Beal light. He's never going to score 28 per game like Bradley Beal, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him get to 20 points per game in the right situation. The Denver Nuggets were never going to pay him, and they ended up getting the Rockets' first-round pick out of this in their trade. That's literally all they got. So the Denver Nuggets didn't get anything outside of that first-round pick, but they got something from Malik Beasley, and now the Timberwolves have D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah,
so
D'Angelo Russell coming in a separate trade with Golden State.
Yes.
One I want to get into real quick. This is the last thing before we go. D'Angelo Russell to Minnesota, Andrew Wiggins to Golden State.
Also Minnesota's first-round pick in 2021. Top 3 protected.
So, who do you think is better off for this deal? Because I don't think that Wiggins is going to impact the Warriors. Maybe he'll be around next year, but I don't think he's going to impact the Warriors long term. I think this is just a ploy to try to get good old Giannis Antetokounmpo, try to lure him away with the sign and trade with the Milwaukee Bucks, and have your top 3 basically be Giannis, Steph, Clay.
Which would be just stupid.
It would be incredible.
Like, what else can you say?
It'd be like essentially them having Kevin Durant back, except not as good of a shooter, but better at attacking the rim.
And better at defense too.
That's
which
true
is
as well.
which is even more ridiculous because KD in Golden State was an elite rim protector. I'm not joking.
Yeah, no.
I am not joking at all. Kevin Durant was amazing and like on defense in Golden State too.
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out because I don't think obviously they didn't get Wiggins for this year because they're so far behind with
Right.
obviously Clay and Steph being out. Anything else you got?
I mean, I think the only way this blows up in Minnesota's face is if the first round pick becomes like 4th overall. There's rumors they could trade for Devin Booker, which they'd probably have to include Malik Beasley in that deal, but that would be D'Angelo Russell, Devin Booker, and Karl Anthony Towns.
That's if Cat stays.
And Cat loves D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, I
That's
was
his
going to say
best friend,
that's probably one of the best things I could have done to keep Cat around.
Oh yeah, 100%. So that would be a great offensive big three. Maybe not so good on defense, but they'll be scoring so much. But that's pretty much it with the trade deadline.
I mean, that's all we have time for today. I'm Aaron Poling,
I'm Aaron McClory.
and you've been caught in our full court press.
Shoot it.